Hello. YouTube tells me that most people won't stay with a video for more than about 3 minutes. So I'm going to make this short and sweet. I'm going to tell you about two techniques for doing what's called opening your third eye, although they can also be helpful if you're using other methods to open your third eye. The first one consists of closing your eyes and pointing your eyeballs down slightly. At the same time, again with your eyes closed, you point your visual attention upward slightly. That's the entire technique. I'll just reiterate because it does seem like a very short description. Your eyeballs are pointed slightly down, and your visual attention is pointed slightly up. All this with your eyes closed. You can also use this technique to help get into meditation. Just do it for a few seconds, perhaps a minute, not more than that, and then go into your normal meditation practice. I've only heard a few reports of this, but it appears to be very effective with Vipassana meditation or Zen meditation, any technique that involves paying attention to your breathing. The second technique consists of remembering a person's face every time you think of them. That is to say, when you think of someone, you don't think of just their name. You take a second or even a few milliseconds, sometimes it can be that brief, and picture their face in your mind. Both of these techniques have something in common. They separate your visual attention from your visual organs, your eyes. And that's one of the reasons why third eye phenomena, as it's called, comes up so often in meditation. It's because meditation also shuts you off from the input from your physical eyes. Why? Because you do it with your eyes closed. These techniques should be practiced differently from the way you might practice meditation. With meditation, you sit down for 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes at night, and you do the technique. This you do whenever you have the opportunity, but only for a few seconds at a time. The point is not to remain with your visual attention instead of your normal vision for long periods. It's more about making the transition, because once you have your attention off of what your eyes are physically seeing, it makes it easier for your brain and your mind to present you with visual imagery from within. And that, I think, is the essence of the third eye's functions. Why is it called the third eye? Because it isn't the other two. The reason for that name, in English anyway, in Sanskrit is called the Ajna chakra, and that's a very different kind of name linguistically with far greater connotations. Whenever you separate your attention from your physical sight, you make your visual attention more available to inner sight, the kinds of imagery that comes up in our imaginations, our dreams, even conscious visualizations from various meditation techniques. In Reiki, for example, you visualize certain Chinese or Japanese characters. So that's the entire technique. To reiterate, number one, close your eyes, point your eyeballs slightly down, but put your visual attention slightly above the midline of your vision. And the second technique is that when you find yourself thinking or speaking about someone, take a second or even a fraction of a second to see their face in your mind's eye, so that you're connecting with your memory of that person. And that becomes a visual experience. So it's inner vision, it's disconnected from your eyeballs, and that means that it'll be easier to access it through meditation, through visualization, as for example a conscious psychic technique where you want to kind of send a telepathic message to someone. Part of that technique is always visualizing them in your mind's eye before you do it. So the real point of the third eye, opening the third eye, accessing the third eye, is disconnecting from your normal vision and connecting instead with your inner vision, the same source that also provides dreams, visualizations, imaginations, visual memories, and so forth. That's the entire technique, both of them. Thanks for watching. I wish you well.